Hey trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. This video is strictly about the Tiger Paw Invitational. There are so many athletes that we had competing across many events, so I really want to get into it. And look here, and I better watch the whole video. I want to now ask me about what about this athlete and such athlete, and I'm not watching the video. Watch the full video, please, and thanks. Now, with that said, let's jump into the women's 60 meters because this one was mouth watering from the onset. Now, we had Jordan Williams representing for Jamaica in this 60 meters, and she started out and ended the same way, and that's literally winning. But she did so in absolute style because each round she literally set a new personal best. So Jordan Williams took to the first round and she ran a 7.18 seconds to qualify to make it into the semifinals. As I said, she was going from personal best to personal best because the last time she set a PB was her 7.19 she did a week ago or so at an indoor meeting. So we're talking about indoors here, not outdoors. So with that being said, moving on from the 7.18, she got even more impressive in the semifinals where she ran a 7.14 seconds. I'm not lie to you. When I look at her in that race, homegirl had more to give. I was like, okay, Jodean, come through, Jodean. Wake them up, Sprint Tech. Let them know say on really come true. I was absolutely loving it. And I was like, all right, Jodean. I was actually a little bit worried. I'm kidding you not. The vibe I'm getting from the Jamaican camp is that many of our professional athletes are not really interested in going to the indoors. And I'm talking about the best of our athletes. You know what I mean? So that's the vibe that I'm getting. So I was kind of looking around, wondering to myself, okay, so who is going to be the athletes that want to go, or who are the athletes that are going to want to go? And it seems as though, based on the progression that I'm seeing from Jodine indoors, and especially the fact that she's competing so much indoors, to me, it's telling me that she wants to go to the indoor championships to represent Jamaica. And I'm here for it because if we know nobody else, why not? And she's running really fast. You know what I mean? So with that said, she headed into the finals with the leading time, a new personal best of 7.14 seconds, where she again equaled that PB running a 7.14 seconds. So Jordan Williams is absolutely on fire, getting faster and faster each week she runs, competing strongly, and I can't wait to see what will happen, at the end of this, indoor season for her, what her plans are really. Will she, try to represent Jamaica from an indoor perspective? Let's see how that goes. But exciting times ahead for Jordan Williams. And again, these times are very, very impressive week by week from her. Now, jumping over into the men's 600 meters, more impressive things going on. Now, Tarees Rhoden, he's there representing. He's now a professional athlete, you'd say. Don't see a sponsor for him yet, but he's now a professional athlete, and he set a new national record in the men's 600 meters for Jamaica indoors, where he ran a 1 minute 15.68 seconds. So great running from Tarees Rhoden. He took the event overall with that 1 minute 15.68 seconds. As I've been telling you all, he's literally been going from strength to strength. Each year I've been watching Tarees, and this is his, first year being a pro. Let's see how it goes for him. Loving, the amount of entrance that we have, or interest that we see from our Jamaicans from an 800 meter perspective. No, he dabbles in the 4 as well, so it's yet to be decided what he'll actually be doing this season given his performances. But look here, if he wants to be a part of the 400, I welcome it. If he wants to run some 4x4s as well, I welcome it. He's definitely part of Jamaica's, strong set of athletes that can represent us there. Now, also, we had in the men's 60 meter finals, Travis Williams. He represents USC. Now, he's been running all season and he's been looking well. Well, I don't want to say all season. I believe a couple competitions he's come out before and he's looking absolutely well. He comes out again this time in the men's 60 meters and does fantastic again. He places second and he runs a 6.62 seconds. Now this is very interesting, this men's 60 meters, because it seems many people didn't start. Only 2 people ran in this finals. Very, very interesting. But anyway, he was second. He ran a time of 6.62 seconds. Very, very impressive. Now over to the men's 60 meter hurdles finals, where we had LaFrance Campbell placing third. He ran a season's best time of 7.67 seconds, and Gianna Roberts ran a time of 7.91 seconds for fifth in the event. Jumping into some hurdle action with the women's 60-meter hurdles. And I tell you, this was absolutely thrilling round by round because Oneka Wilson pretty much set the pace and let us know what is to be expected coming the finals, where she in the semifinals clocked a new personal best of 7.95 seconds. Now she represents Clemson. I have to say, week by week, I've been watching her. She's definitely been getting stronger and stronger. And if I even go back to last season as well, last season was her breakout year, I would say, collegiately, and she's taken it into this season, and she's doing absolutely phenomenal in the semifinals here, as I said, clocking a new personal best of 7.95 seconds. So into the finals, a lot of expectation as it relates to potentially her dipping below that new personal best that she set. Unfortunately, she did not start in the finals. So it was like, wah, wah. You know what I mean? When you're looking forward to an excellent race with your country woman, right? And she doesn't turn up, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with her. As I say, I've been watching her week by week, and I've noticed that she's been pretty much running rounds but not turning up in the finals. I think that's a strategy that they're doing with her, not overworking her kind of thing. So I wouldn't say that this is a cause for concern given the fact that I've seen it in previous weeks from her as well. But just had to note it because even though it's not the finals on its own to the semifinals, it was still a big run, 7.95 seconds. Let's get into the women's 400 meters. Now, I'm going to do things differently this time around. Typically, I stick to top 8 only. So if you don't fall into top 8, unfortunately, then you will not be a part of the results that I deliver to you. However, given that there are so many 400-meter races that were run, I mean a gazillion, and also the fact that we have interest from professional athletes that this is not their pet event, but they still competed over the 400 meters and they're way down the list. If I'm going to be calling them and telling you how they did, then might as well tell you how all the important parties to us, and I mean the Jamaicans, performed at this meeting over the 400 meters. So they had to break up this women's 400 meters into two sections. They had the women's 400 meter purple and they had the women's 400 meter orange. So let's start with the women's 400 meter orange, where we had Dejani Oakley as the only Jamaican that finished in top 8, where she ran a season's best time of 52.12 seconds. So Dejani Oakley, fantastic running. She now represents Georgia. If you knew last year, she was also representing Texas, right? So the Texas Longhorns, that is. Now this season, clearly representing Georgia and doing fantastic for herself. Now, as I said, there are some professional athletes that took part as well. So I'm going to talk about them. A couple of them are not Jamaican, but still of note, so I'll still highlight them as well. Now, just behind Dejani Oakley, finishing 9th overall in this section, was Dina Asher Smith from Great Britain, running at 52.31 seconds. Apparently, this is a new personal best for her and also takes a huge chunk over a second and a half of her indoor 400 meter personal best. Now, interestingly, when I saw this performance from Adina Asher Smith, I remembered immediately last year when she took part in that 4x4. And I just remember being very impressed because she looked even better than actual 400 meter specialists. And it showed in this race because to be 9th overall, as I said, there are a gazillion races. In this section for the women's orange finals, there are a whole 10 sections, right? So out of 10 sections, not a 400 meter specialist, she still managed to finish 9th overall. For me, that is very impressive, regardless of the fact that most of these athletes are collegiate. Doesn't matter. This was still impressive to me from Adina Asher Smith. And I start to kind of wonder as well, given the fact that for years I've been thinking to myself that Dina needs to step into 10-7. Like I've been waiting for the 10-7 and the 10-7 actually hasn't happened. And then I started to say, I wonder if Dina's two distances are actually not 1-2 and it's actually 2-4, given the fact that, from she's been a junior, she's been tearing up the track over the 100 meters. But the progression, I suppose, that we're expecting over the distance hasn't happened yet, right? So I'm starting to wonder, given how strong you are over those 400 meters, girl, you look like your distance them are probably 4-2, and not 1-2. But still, she's still amazing over the 100 meters nonetheless. And of course, this bodes well for her for 2025. That 200 meters, that's her best event, right? Bodes well for that. And also, hopefully, potentially, we get to see her transition into the 10-7 realms from this, this type of new training method that she's going through. Also, now moving on from that, from a Jamaican perspective, continuing down the line, we had Brianna White. She finished 10th overall. She ran a new personal best, 20. Did I say 20? 52.40 seconds. So that's a new personal best for her in the 400 meters. Also, we had Oneka having a good stretch of running, another 52 clocking. She clocked 52.78 to be 16th overall in this event. Now, also from a professional perspective, Julian Alfred lined up here in the women's 400 meters as well. Now, she was 20th overall and she ran a time of 52.97 seconds. Now, as I told you all, anything Julian Alfred runs for St. Lucia is going to be a national record, regardless of how impressive it is, on a global stage. So clearly, the 400 meters is not her distance. So this is not her pet event. Wasn't expecting her to do anything crazy here, right? Still came out, did fantastic, ran a personal best, a new national record for herself over this 400-meter distance. Now I'm going to jump over from the orange 400-meter finals and I'm going to jump into the purple 400-meter finals, right? So here, again, more Jamaican participation, right? So second overall, so this section of running had a whole 13 sections, right? So second overall was Shanq Williams, and she ran a new personal best of 52.79 seconds. Again, if you don't know who Shanq Williams is, she's the younger sister of Stacey Ann Williams. So keep an eye out for her. She's been going from strength to strength. Actually, I believe every week she runs, I'm getting PBs out of her. So that's really, really good from Shanq Williams. Let's see how the season progresses for her. I mean, this is her first year. She's a freshman, in college. So it's great to see this type of performance from her, really stepping into her sister's footsteps. If you remember how well her sister competed, I believe Stacey competed for the Texas Longhorns. And if you remember how well she was in college, then you know that given what you see Shanq doing, she's literally walking in her sister's footsteps. And I'm absolutely loving it. Now, there are some more Jamaicans that competed. Now, from a professional perspective, we also had Danielle Williams competing. She's our 100-meter hurdler, two-time world champion over that event, to be exact. Now, she competed and she ran a 54.65 seconds to be 22nd overall. Now, we also had Jodean Dixon compete as well. She was 23rd overall and she ran a time of 54.71 seconds. So, with that said, that should be all the Jamaicans in this section for the women's 400 meters. All right, so trackies, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. So much going on the track from the Tiger Paw Invitational. That should be it for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Well, not the only video you're getting today. Let's make that clear. But it from the Tiger Paw Invitational today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Like the video, of course, and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.